Hi, and welcome to this presentation on writing basics. First, a pop quiz. True or false, your best writing generally comes from the heart. That is actually a true statement. Research would say that if you are personally invested in the topic, whether that be something that has happened to you, something that you're just interested in, that will produce the best writing. And so throughout this semester and these next 8 weeks, I would highly encourage you to, when you're choosing your topics, to choose topics that you are interested in, things that have happened to you personally, because to write what you know is going to produce the best writing. Question number 2. True or false, very few people can write well enough to be published. Some people can find personal, academic, and professional success. This is sort of a tricky question. That first statement is there aren't very many people who are published, but part of that is because not a lot of us have a desire to be published. The second part of that question, though, is false. We here at NICC believe that all people can find personal, academic, and professional success. Now, that may not be easy, but through the things that we have set up, we will hopefully help you to become better writers. And so we believe that all of you will be able to write well enough to find personal, academic, and professional success. The third question, true or false, when writing, it is best to never write about things that are too personal. And again, this is sort of a tricky question because according to question 1, we're supposed to write from the heart. And I think that that's a great thing. And sometimes we'll do that personally. It's not always the best thing to do, though, if we're writing for a class situation. And I just kind of want to put this disclaimer out there. If you are writing something that's very, very personal, very raw, and you're not willing to share that yet, it may not be the best topic for this course because you will have to go through peer revision. And so it will be shared with not only me, the instructor, but also with your classmates. And so if it's something that you're really not willing to share, you're not ready to share, or it might be too painful for you, I would suggest maybe finding a different topic. If you're willing to share that, go right ahead, because again, referring to number 1, your best writing will come from the heart. What we'll get into next are some of the reasons why people write. The first one has to do with thinking. Writing in general will develop your thinking skills. Writing is a higher order concern. There's a lot of things that are happening. And a lot of times if we write about a topic, it allows us to think more deeply about a topic. And so we can't just skim the surface. We need to get to the heart of the matter. We need to maybe talk about some of the positives and the negatives, some of the implications of a particular topic. And so writing allows us to really kind of flesh out what we think about a particular topic. Along with that, if we want to become a better thinker and a better writer, you may consider doing more reading. The more reading we do, the more things we have to think about, the more perspectives we will then have been exposed to. And so it really provides us with, the means to think deeper and to also write better because we're emulating what we're seeing as we're reading on the page. So we're looking at examples of good writing, which will hopefully then in turn lead to us being better writers. The second reason why people write is that it's power, and it's a very powerful means of communication. Obviously, writing is a way to convey meaning, and so by writing, it can either help or hinder. Maybe you've been on the receiving end of some really helpful writing. Maybe you've received greeting cards, or you've received maybe a letter of sympathy, or a get well card. Those kind of things can really help us. Writing can also be used to hurt. And so maybe we've been on the receiving end of that, maybe through social media. That kind of makes things, even kind of elevates things because what's now placed on social media becomes permanent. Our current president, Donald Trump, also has been known to use social media, and we can kind of make our own opinions whether or not that's been positive or negative, but those things don't go away. They stick around. And so it's a means of power, kind of getting our ideas across in a more permanent way than just voicing them through conversation. The third reason is that writing equals learning. There are a lot of instructors and teachers and professors who are using writing as a way to learn information. It's used as a teaching strategy and also as a learning strategy, and maybe some of you have done that on your own. You know that you are, maybe a very visual person, or you are somebody who likes to do as you're learning, and so writing is the doing that you might be doing. If you write about a topic, it does allow for some deeper understanding. If you can write about a topic, we're not just skimming the surface. You're getting deep into maybe how something works, or why it's important. And so that Judith Langer quote, "The more students write about content, the better it will be remembered," because the more you work with content, the more likely it is that you will be able to remember it, but also be able to use it down the line. The other 3 reasons why people write, these are very quick reasons. People write for employment, because in order to be, employed and hired for a job, you might have to do a letter, a cover letter, because it requires writing. Is that an evaluation of intelligence, or is it a fair evaluation of intelligence? I don't know that that's a very fair way. I do know that there are employers who look at your cover letter and who may say, oh, there's grammatical mistakes on that, I'm not going to hire this person. And it's a means of kind of weeding out the applicants. Writing is not an evaluation of intelligence. The way you use commas and how you formulate your sentences does not reflect your intelligence at all. But it is something that people use, and it's something that you want to pay attention to. Writing is also a way to make sense of life. People use it as therapy, as a stress reliever. A lot of times people will use journals in order to kind of make sense of what's going on. If they have a big decision to make, a lot of times people will turn to journaling and the writing process in order to make that decision. And lastly, hopefully some of you might even find writing to be enjoyable and fun. People who write for a living obviously enjoy it. Doesn't mean that it's easy for them, but they do enjoy it and find some sense of fun in doing the writing process. If you have any questions about this or any presentation, please don't hesitate to reach out by either email or phone. Have a great day.